there's always, once you deconstruct, a hindrance with the family. And I'm wondering, do you have much of a relationship with your family anymore?
So it is tricky, and it has come with a lot of boundary setting, which has been one of the hardest things for me to do. My sister, we are super close. Like, we have been through, it's funny because we've been through all the same trauma, but with different perspectives. Like, it's like no two siblings go through the exact same thing. And that is definitely the case for both of us, but we are very close, pretty much believe the same thing, which is really cool. And I've heard y'all speak about your relationship as well. But, as far as her, like, yeah, we're pretty close. I have a very small family. Like, I have my dad, 2 uncles, and my mamaw is still alive, and that's it. And my stepmom. My dad came out of the Independent Fundamental Baptist Church years ago, but it wasn't when I did. And it went kind of from one to another, just a little less like tame, like some of the women wore pants outside of the church, they weren't as, it's just, and I know that feeling once you leave something so like severe, anything else feels 10 times greater, even if it's just like a small little step down from like the IFB, it's like a Southern Baptist or something like that. It's still like, oh, wow, this is a breath of fresh air. But, he and his wife, did that. And then they just recently went to a non-denominational church, like within the last year or two. I think it's been a year, maybe. And, we've gotten to the point where we don't talk about politics. We don't talk about religion. It took me over the last year, that's been my biggest hill to climb, is that because he's a very political person. He's very, very religious, but he's a great, like, he is so charismatic. And so, like, he was a car salesman my whole life. And I feel like between my mom's personality and his, they have like great bubbly personalities, and they're so fun, and they're the, life of the party everywhere they go. But sometimes when you mix that with Christianity or things like that, like, it's just, this is where I have a hard time talking about it, because I don't want to say anything bad, but like, there's been boundaries that have been set, and there's been a lot of emotions and a lot of like sometimes heated conversations. And when I was going through therapy and through that healing, especially from my trauma from being a child, in that household and in that church, it was hard for me to even want to talk to my family, because like I said, like with my new eyes and my new healed, eyes, I'm looking back at like, I could never do that to my kid. I could never do that to my kid. Like, you're not trying to break your child's will. Like, I mean, they were trying to, I win, I break my child's will. I'm stressed out. I'm upset. Let me take it out. I can never do that to my kid. And I make sure that I am healed enough to be the best parent that I can. And it's just hard to grapple with that and have a good relationship. And I feel like I'm to the point now where it's good, like where I'm at peace with it. And if they want to feel however they want to feel, that's them. I can't control that. I can be kind. I can set boundaries. And so far, like this last trip that I went down to Tennessee to see my family, it was a great trip. Like, we all good. Just really, there was love there. I didn't have a lot of conversation with my dad. We just were kind of there, we're just in the moment. And that was nice, because I think now that I have set boundaries, like, don't talk about politics around me. I'm not going to agree with you. There's no point. You're not going to try to convince me. I'm not going to be like, yeah, good job. Like, way to go. I'm so proud of you. I won't say it because I'm not, like, I don't agree with that stuff. But it has taken a lot to get there. And it's taken a lot of setting really hard boundaries. And you know how it is. Like, I'm so empathetic. And it's like, I feel sorry for like, I just want to make everybody happy and I want everybody to feel loved and get along. And just, that's not reality. That's not like real life.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like almost you're grieving, you feel bad for setting a boundary, but at the same time, you know, you're doing what's best for you and to protect your peace. And it's finally getting to a point where it's kind of like balancing out. And I'm a Libra. I'm all about balance. Like I love, you know, getting those scales, you know, but, yeah. So, I mean, I'm at the best place since healing with my family than I've been so far. Oh,
that's awesome. That's so good to hear. That's awesome. Good
That's
for you.
really cool. Yeah.
It takes so much work.
Yeah.
Being the one setting those boundaries too takes so much work. So I commend you on that.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Thank you.
I just want to say too that, you know, we still have a relationship with our folks, the pastors. And ever since we started this podcast, it is finally, for the first time in my life, noticed there's like the strongest boundary that's ever been set, which is just talking publicly about our experience, right? Which is forcing our parents to sit with that, to sit with the fact that we're having public conversations around our upbringing.
Yeah.
And but like just to say that, and so like there's been like fissures and it's been ripples. I fought with my parent, they kicked me out, and I fought with them every time. The most horrific fights, always pushed away. It fucked mine and Zach's relationship up forever. Yeah. And it and so to like the fact that I even have a relationship with my parents still, I think is because it's part of the religious trauma that I've never really learned how to I know that if I ever cut them out, right, with however bad it's gone, I knew it would be it. I knew that would be like, it'd be really hard to like, because they're not the type of people that are going to really, at least they've never shown that they're ever going to like do the work to try to see us, to see us as people. And because of that, and I'm over here like, well, I'm trying to see myself first, right? And that's like really important. And so there's just like this, what I've learned is we still have a relationship, and I'm so proud of that. And like, just like you said, I'm finally able to say the same. I have the healthiest relationship I've ever had with my parents. I have the strongest boundaries, no politics, no religion. And I've had to reinforce that so many fucking times and still do. But I haven't fought with them in over a year. And I know that to them, I think it feels like to them, it's the worst the relationship has ever been. But to me, this is clearly the healthiest and safest it's ever been. Yeah. Whether that lasts is like, because we've like interviewed so many people that they've had to cut out family. Yeah. Even with kids, I've had to cut out my abusive dad or this or that. Yeah. And you know, it's like, and I don't know if that's going to be the case with us still. It breaks my heart to even think about it, just because life isn't this game, right? It's real shit. And I feel like if it gets to that point, it's because of how severe this culture is. And as my therapist always told me, that when systems, thinking about things in systems theory, when a system feels threatened, that survivalness, that system will cut off any link to it that it assumes it's killing it. And in that Christian religion, in that culture, anybody that's not following that way is a potential person that's going to kill them, right? Yeah. Going to be the death of them. So the only way our parents knew how to deal with me at 16 when I was walking away was get him out of this family. And that's so much scar tissue from that. But I finally have learned that I can like separate them and be like, oh, you have to do that out of survival if that's what you believe. Yeah. And in our experience, it's like, will that continue to slowly happen, right, from this culture? Will they really just start to cut us out? And so far, I do commend our parents that they haven't done that. Right. Well, they've done it a lot to me, but I've kept crawling back, being like, love me, just love me. You know?
Yeah, it's so complicated.
Oh, it is so complicated.